What if the perfect life you built was a lie? Meet Ryan, a devoted dad and rising star who thought he had it all, until one moment shattered everything. A single glance, a hidden truth, and a choice that could destroy his family or set him free. Will he fight for love or seek justice? Stay tuned for a story of betrayal, courage, and a twist you won't see coming. Ryan Mitchell's life looked like a highlight reel. At 35, he was a marketing director at a Seattle tech firm, the kind of guy who closed deals with a handshake and a grin. His daughters, Lily, 10, and Ava, 7, were his world. Soccer games, bedtime stories, the works. His wife, Emma, a college professor, was his partner in every sense, sharp and warm, always ready with a quip to cut through his long work days. They'd built a life that turned heads, the kind people envied at school pickups or neighborhood barbecues. But cracks have a way of hiding until they don't. It started on a Saturday, the kind of crisp September day that begged for family time. Ryan had promised the girls a backyard adventure, and he delivered. He strung up a tent between two maples, hauled out sleeping bags, and set up a fire pit for s'mores. Lily, all elbows and energy, raced around collecting sticks, while Ava, quieter but just as fierce, insisted on supervising the marshmallow roasting. Emma leaned against the patio door, watching with a smile, her coffee mug steaming in the cool air. "You're spoiling them, you know," she teased, her voice light. Ryan shot back, "Good. They deserve it." The girls squealed as he chased them through the grass, their laughter bouncing off the fences. That night, after the girls were tucked in, Ryan and Emma collapsed on the couch. She curled into him, her head on his chest, and they talked about nothing, work, the girls, a trip they might take next summer. It was easy, familiar, the kind of moment that made Ryan feel like he'd cracked the code to a good life. He kissed her forehead, grateful, and they headed to bed, hands brushing as they climbed the stairs. Sunday morning shifted gears. Ryan was up early, prepping for a work trip to Portland. He packed while fielding Ava's questions about whether stars sleep during the day. Emma, already grading papers at the kitchen table, glanced up. "Don't forget Lily's game Wednesday," she said, pen tapping her laptop. "I'll be there," Ryan promised, slinging his bag over his shoulder. He kissed the girls, then Emma, lingering a second longer than usual. Her smile felt distracted, but he chalked it up to her workload. "Love you," he called, already halfway out the door. The trip was routine, meetings, pitches, a late dinner with clients. Ryan's phone buzzed constantly, but he kept it professional, firing off updates to his team. Late Monday night, back in his hotel, he scrolled through family photos to unwind. Lily's gap-toothed grin mid-kick at soccer, Ava's serious face as she painted a birdhouse, they grounded him. He texted Emma, "Miss you guys. How's the chaos?" Her reply came quick, surviving. Papers piling up. Safe travels. Something about it felt flat, but Ryan was too tired to dwell. He set an alarm and crashed. Tuesday morning, he woke to a missed call from Emma, no voicemail. Odd, but not alarming. He called back, but it went to voicemail. Probably in class, he thought. He shot her a text. "Everything okay?" No reply. By noon, still nothing. A faint unease settled in, like static in the back of his mind. He pushed it aside, focusing on his last meeting, but when his phone pinged, he grabbed it fast. It was Emma. "All good, just swamped. Talk tonight?" Relief washed over him, but the static didn't fully fade. That evening, back in Seattle, Ryan pulled into the driveway. The house was dark, save for the kitchen light. Inside, Emma was at the table, laptop open, papers scattered. "Hey, stranger," she said, looking up with a tired smile. Ryan dropped his bag and hugged her, but her arms felt loose, like she was going through the motions. "Rough day?" he asked, grabbing a water from the fridge. "Just the usual," she said, eyes on her screen. "Girls are asleep. Lily's got a new obsession with constellations." Ryan chuckled, but her distance nagged at him. He let it go, too jet-lagged to press. Wednesday morning, Ryan was back in dad mode. He drove Lily to soccer practice, cheering as she nailed a goal. On the way home, Ava chattered about a school project, and Ryan soaked it in, grateful for the noise. Emma was out. Another late meeting, she'd said. When she got home, Ryan was on the couch, half watching a game. She dropped her bag, and her phone slid out, lighting up with a text. Ryan glanced over, not meaning to snoop, but the name caught his eye. Mark. The preview read, Tomorrow? Same spot. His stomach twisted. Emma snatched the phone, her face unreadable. Work stuff, she said, too quickly, and headed upstairs. Ryan sat there, the TV droning. Mark was a colleague. He knew that much. History professor, mid-40s, always too friendly at faculty events. Ryan had never liked him, but he'd trusted Emma. Now, that text burned in his mind. He told himself it was nothing, just paranoia from being on the road. But sleep didn't come easy that night. Emma's phone stayed face down on her nightstand, and for the first time in years, Ryan wondered what she wasn't saying. Thursday morning, Ava woke up with a fever. Ryan called out of work, taking her to the pediatrician near Emma's campus. The visit was quick, viral, rest and fluids. On impulse, Ryan decided to swing by Emma's office with coffee, a small gesture to bridge the weirdness. He parked near the humanities building, Ava dozing in the back seat. As he crossed the quad, he spotted Emma near the library, laughing, her hand on someone's arm. Ryan stopped cold. It was Mark. They stood close, too close, her body angled toward him in a way that screamed intimacy. Ryan's chest tightened. He pulled out his phone, snapped a photo, and watched, frozen, as Mark leaned in, their lips meeting briefly before they parted, still smiling. Ava stirred, mumbling, "Dad." Ryan forced a smile, guiding her back to the car. His hands shook as he buckled her in. The drive home was a blur, that image seared into his brain. Emma's laugh, Mark's hand on her waist. At home, he tucked Ava into bed, then sat in his office, staring at the photo. His perfect life wasn't just cracking. It was already in pieces. Ryan Mitchell's world didn't just tilt after seeing Emma with Mark. It was careening off its axis. The photo on his phone, snapped in that gut-punch moment near the library, was proof of a truth he hadn't wanted to face. Emma, his wife of 12 years, was cheating. Yet back home, she moved through their routines with a practiced ease that made his skin crawl. Ryan wasn't ready to blow it all up. Not yet, but the clock was ticking, and he needed a plan. Friday morning, Ryan played the part of the devoted dad. He made oatmeal for Lily and Ava, quizzing Lily on her spelling test while Ava, still recovering, slurped her juice. Emma rushed out for an early class, her goodbye kiss grazing Ryan's cheek. Her casual "see you tonight" felt like a taunt. Ryan nodded, his jaw tight, and drove the girls to school. Alone in the car, he replayed the courtyard scene, Mark's hand on Emma's waist, their shared laughter mocking him. Anger simmered, but he shoved it down. He needed clarity, not rage. At work, Ryan's marketing team was prepping a campaign pitch, but his focus was shot. He nodded through updates, his mind on Emma's phone. Tomorrow? Same spot? He hadn't confronted her yet, unsure how to approach it without tipping his hand. During a break, he stepped into the hall and scrolled through the photo again, zooming in on Emma's smile. It was the kind she used to give him, unguarded and warm. Now it felt like a lie. His thumb hovered over the delete button, but he locked the screen instead. Evidence mattered. Lunch brought a distraction. Sarah, a co-worker from the creative team. She slid into the break room, grabbing a soda, and noticed Ryan's quiet. "Rough week?" she asked, her tone light but probing. Sarah was 32, a single mom with a sharp wit and a knack for cutting through office nonsense. Ryan liked her. She was direct, no games. "Just family stuff," he said, forcing a shrug. She nodded, not pushing, and pivoted to a story about her son, Ethan, who tried cooking with Play-Doh. Ryan laughed, the tension easing for a moment. Sarah's presence was steady, a small anchor in the storm. That evening, Emma was home for dinner, chatting about a student's project while Ryan grilled chicken. The girls giggled over a school prank, and Ryan watched Emma, searching for cracks in her act. She caught his gaze, tilting her head. "You okay? You're quiet." He nodded, muttering about work stress, and she let it drop. After dinner, while Emma helped Lily with math, Ryan checked her phone, unlocked, left on the counter. His pulse spiked. He opened her messages, scrolling past work chats until he found Mark's name. The thread was short, recent. "Missed you today. Tomorrow?" Emma's reply. "Can't. Busy. Mark soon then." Ryan's grip tightened. No smoking gun, but enough to confirm his suspicions. Saturday, Ryan took the girls to a pumpkin patch, a fall tradition. Lily darted through the maze, Ava trailing with a tiny pumpkin in her arms. Ryan snapped photos, smiling for them, but his mind churned. He needed to know how deep this went, how long, how serious. Back home, Emma was grading papers, her laptop humming. Ryan suggested a movie night, and she agreed, curling up with Ava on the couch. Her hand rested on his knee, familiar, but it felt wrong. He excused himself early, claiming a headache, and retreated to his office. There, he emailed a divorce lawyer he'd found online, keeping it vague, exploring options. Need advice. He hit send, his chest tight. Sunday brought a new twist. Ryan was at the park with the girls when his phone buzzed. An unknown number. A man's voice, low and nervous. Is this Ryan Mitchell? Ryan tensed. Yeah. Who's this? The caller hesitated. I'm a friend of Mark's. You need to know something about him and your wife. Ryan's blood ran cold. He stepped away from the playground, signaling Lily to watch Ava. Go on, he said, voice flat. The man, calling himself Greg, said he'd seen Emma and Mark together multiple times, not just at work. Coffee shops, late-night walks, even a hotel once. I thought you should know, Greg said, then hung up. Ryan stood frozen, kids' laughter clashing with the roar in his head. A hotel. The word burned. He didn't confront Emma that night. Instead, he watched her, helping Ava with a puzzle, laughing at Lily's impression of a teacher. She seemed so normal, so his. But Greg's call had shifted something. Ryan wasn't just hurt, he was angry. Monday, he called the lawyer, scheduling a meeting for Wednesday. He wanted to know his rights, especially for the girls. At work, he confided in Sarah over coffee, keeping it vague. Things are rough at home. She listened, her eyes steady. You don't have to carry it alone, she said. Ryan nodded, grateful, but kept the details locked tight. Tuesday night, Emma suggested a date night, her attempt to reconnect. Ryan agreed, testing her. They went to a bistro downtown, her choice. She was charming, asking about his work, sharing campus gossip. But her phone stayed face down, buzzing twice. She ignored it, but Ryan saw her glance, quick and guilty. Work, he asked, casual. Yeah, probably, she said too fast. He let it go, but the moment soured. Back home, she reached for him in bed, but he pulled away, citing exhaustion. Her sigh was heavy, but she didn't push. Wednesday morning, Ava's fever was gone, so Ryan dropped the girls at school and headed to the lawyer's office. The attorney, a no-nonsense woman named Karen, listened as Ryan outlined the situation, showing her the photo and mentioning Greg's call. Karen was blunt. You've got enough for a strong case, custody, assets, all of it. But think hard. Divorce is war. Ryan nodded, his mind racing. He wasn't ready to pull the trigger, but he needed options. Karen suggested a private investigator for more proof. Ryan hesitated, then agreed. He wanted the truth, no matter how much it hurt. That afternoon, Ryan took Lily to soccer practice, cheering louder than usual, grounding himself in her joy. Emma texted, home late. Faculty meeting. Ryan's jaw clenched. He forwarded the text to the investigator, a guy named Tom, who'd promised discretion. As Lily scored a goal, Ryan's phone pinged. Tom, already on the case, tailing her tonight. We'll update. Ryan pocketed the phone, his heart a drumbeat. Emma's lies were unraveling, and he was done playing the fool. Ryan Mitchell's life was a tightrope, and he was one misstep from falling. The photo of Emma kissing Mark, the cryptic texts, and Greg's call about their hotel rendezvous had shredded his trust. Now, with a private investigator tailing Emma, Ryan braced for the truth. He wanted answers, but each step toward them felt like a march to war. The girls, Lily and Ava, were his anchor, their laughter a reminder of what he stood to lose. Confronting Emma was inevitable, but he needed to be surgical, not reckless. Thursday morning, Ryan stuck to routine, driving Lily to school while Ava sang off-key to a pop song. He smiled, masking the storm inside. Emma was already gone, claiming an early lecture. Ryan's phone buzzed as he pulled into work. Tom, the investigator, got something. Meet at noon? Ryan's pulse spiked, but he texted back, yes. Coffee shop on 5th. Work was a blur of emails and nods, his mind elsewhere. Sarah, his co-worker, caught him staring blankly at his laptop. You look like you need a double shot, she said, sliding a coffee across his desk. Ryan managed a half-smile. You're not wrong. Her concern lingered, but he deflected, keeping his walls up. At noon, Ryan met Tom at a crowded cafe. The investigator was all business, sliding a thin folder across the table. 3 weeks of texts, calls, and meetups, Tom said, voice low. Mostly campus, some off-site. No more hotel stays. but they're careful. Ryan flipped through photos. Emma and Mark at a diner, their hands brushing. A late-night walk near her office, too close for colleagues. The texts, pulled from a burner app Tom traced, were damning. Miss you. Tomorrow? From Mark, and Emma's reply, yes, but careful. Ryan's stomach churned. How long? He asked. Tom shrugged. Months at least. Ryan paid the invoice, pocketed the folder, and left, his mind a pressure cooker. Back at work, Sarah found him in the break room, stirring coffee he wasn't drinking. You're scaring me a little, she said, half joking. Ryan hesitated, then let a sliver of truth slip. Emma's not who I thought. Sarah's eyes softened, but she didn't pry, just nodded. If you need a vent, I'm here. Her steadiness was a lifeline, but Ryan wasn't ready to lean in. He thanked her and headed back to his desk, the folder burning a hole in his bag. Friday, Ryan planned the confrontation. He arranged for the girls to stay with his sister, claiming a work thing to Emma. She didn't blink, just kissed Lily and Ava goodbye and headed to campus. Ryan spent the day prepping with Karen, his lawyer. She reviewed Tom's evidence, her tone crisp. This is ironclad for custody and assets. You could push for full custody, maybe alimony leverage. Ryan shook his head. I just want the girls safe. Karen drafted a post-nuptial agreement. Emma would lose custody and financial claims if she cheated again. It was a shield, not a sword, but Ryan felt its weight. That evening, with the girls gone, Ryan waited at the kitchen table, the folder hidden in a drawer. Emma walked in at 7 p.m., humming, her bag slung over her shoulder. Hey, early night for once, she said, grabbing a water. Ryan's voice was steady. Sit down. We need to talk. Emma froze, her smile faltering, but she sat. He didn't waste words. Is there anything you want to tell me? She laughed, nervous. What's this about? He asked again, eyes locked on hers. Her silence was deafening. Ryan pulled out his phone and showed the library photo. Emma and Mark mid-kiss. Her face drained of color. Ryan, she started, but he cut her off, sliding the folder across the table. Don't lie. I know about the diner, the walks, the texts. Months, Emma. Her hands shook as she opened the folder, photos and screenshots spilling out. She crumpled, tears welling. It was a mistake, she whispered. I was lonely. You're always gone. Ryan's jaw tightened, but he stayed calm. You chose this. Not me. Emma's story poured out. Mark was a colleague who listened, their fling starting at a conference 6 months ago. She swore it was over, that she'd ended it weeks ago. Ryan didn't buy it. Tom's evidence showed texts from yesterday. He laid out his terms. 1. You end it with Mark, provably. 2. Get an STD test. 3. Sign a post-nup. Cheat again. You lose the girls and everything we built. Emma's eyes widened, her voice rising. That's unfair. It was one mistake. Ryan didn't flinch. You broke us. This is your chance to fix it. She stood, pacing, tears streaming. You're punishing me, she snapped. Ryan leaned forward. I'm protecting our daughters. You decide what's worth more. The air was thick, her sobs the only sound. She didn't agree that night, storming upstairs instead. Ryan stayed at the table, staring at the folder. He'd expected to feel relief, but all he felt was hollow. Saturday, Emma was quiet, avoiding his gaze as she made breakfast for the girls, who were back from their aunts. Ryan took them to the park, giving her space. His phone buzzed. Tom again. She met him this morning. Campus. Looked like an argument. Attached was a photo. Emma, tense, gesturing at Mark. Ryan's heart sank. She hadn't ended it. He texted Karen to finalize the post-nup and called Sarah, needing to hear a friend. I confronted her, he admitted over coffee. Sarah listened, her hand brushing his briefly. You're doing the right thing, she said. For you and the girls. Ryan nodded, but the weight of it all pressed harder. Sunday night, Emma approached him, eyes red. I ended it with Mark. For real. She slid a printed email across the table. Her telling Mark it was over, no reply yet. Ryan studied her, searching for truth. Test results? He asked. Scheduled tomorrow, she said, voice small. The post-nup. She hesitated, then nodded. I'll sign. For the girls. Ryan didn't trust her fully, but it was a start. He'd watch, wait, and let her actions speak. The confrontation was over, but the war for his family was just beginning. Ryan Mitchell's confrontation with Emma had drawn a line in the sand, but the ground beneath him still shifted. Her promises, Ending things with Mark, getting tested, signing the post-nup, were steps, but they didn't rebuild trust. Their marriage was a husk, held together by routine and the girls, Lily and Ava. Ryan wasn't ready to walk away, but he wasn't fool enough to pretend things were fixed. As Emma tried to prove herself, a new path opened with Sarah, pulling Ryan toward a future he hadn't planned. Monday morning, Emma handed Ryan a lab receipt for her STD test, her eyes searching his for a reaction. Results in a few days, she said, voice tight. Ryan nodded, pocketing it. Good. He drove Lily and Ava to school, their chatter about a science fair project grounding him. At work, he buried himself in a campaign launch, but the folder of evidence from Tom, the investigator, sat in his bag like a live wire. He checked his phone. Tom's latest update. No contact between her and Mark since Saturday's argument. Ryan exhaled, but skepticism lingered. Sarah noticed his distraction during a team meeting. Over lunch, she nudged him. You're carrying the world today, huh? Ryan hesitated, then shared more than he meant to. Emma's affair, the ultimatum, the post-nup. Sarah listened, her fork paused mid-bite. That's heavy, she said finally. You're handling it better than most. Her honesty was a balm. No pity, just respect. They talked about her son, Ethan, and his obsession with superhero comics, the conversation lightening Ryan's load. As they parted, her hand grazed his arm, a fleeting warmth he didn't expect. Tuesday, Emma signed the post-nup at Karen's office. Ryan watched her pen move, her jaw set. This doesn't mean I don't love you, she said afterward, voice low. Ryan didn't reply. Love wasn't the issue. Trust was. At home, she was attentive, cooking dinner, helping Ava with homework, but her efforts felt performative. Ryan played along, praising Lily's science poster, but his heart wasn't in it. That night, Emma reached for him, but he turned away, citing a long day. Her silence spoke louder than words. Wednesday brought a shift. Ryan took the girls to soccer practice, cheering as Lily scored. His phone pinged. Emma's test results, negative. Relief hit, but it didn't erase the betrayal. He texted Tom to keep tabs on Mark, just in case. At work, Sarah invited him to grab coffee after hours. They sat at a quiet cafe, talking about life beyond the office, her struggles as a single mom, his fears for the girls. You're a good dad, she said, eyes steady. They'll be okay because of you. Ryan felt seen, a rare clarity cutting through his fog. Thursday, Emma suggested family game night. Ryan agreed, hoping for the girls. They played Uno, Lily accusing Ava of cheating, laughter filling the air. Emma's smile was tentative, seeking his approval. Ryan returned it, but didn't reach his eyes. Later, she showed him a text to Mark, sent that day. It's over. Don't contact me. No reply from Mark. Ryan noted the timestamp. Hours ago. Why now, he asked. To prove I mean it, she said. He nodded, unconvinced but noting her effort. Friday, Ryan met Karen to review the post-nups enforcement. It's airtight, she said. But you need to decide, stay or go. Ryan wasn't sure. He loved the life they'd built, but Emma's betrayal had gutted it. That evening, Sarah texted, asking if he wanted to join her and Ethan at a park Saturday. Ryan said yes, craving her easy company. At the park, Ethan roped Ryan into a frisbee game, his energy infectious. Sarah watched, grinning. He likes you, she said later, as Ethan napped on a blanket. Ryan smiled, feeling lighter than he had in weeks. Sunday, Emma dropped a bomb. Over breakfast, as the girls ate pancakes, she paused, fork down. This isn't working, she said, voice steady. We're pretending, and it's not fair to anyone. Ryan froze, Ava's chatter fading. You want out? He asked. Emma nodded, eyes glistening. I love you, but I broke us. The girls deserve better than this. Ryan's mind raced. Anger, relief, fear. The post-nup only kicks in if you cheat again, he said. Otherwise, we split fair. She exhaled, nodding. I'll start the paperwork. Monday, Emma met with her lawyer, and Ryan scouted apartments near the girls' school. They told Lily and Ava together, framing it as a change, not a loss. Dad's getting a cool new place, Emma said, voice bright. You'll have 2 homes. Lily frowned, but Ava nodded, trusting. Ryan hugged them tight, vowing to keep their world steady. He moved out by Wednesday, signing a lease on a 2-bedroom close by. The first night alone was quiet but not heavy. He felt unmoored but free. Thursday, Sarah showed up at his office with takeout. "Housewarming," she said, grinning. They ate on the floor, no furniture yet, talking until midnight. She shared her own scars. An ex who bailed when Ethan was born. Ryan opened up about Emma's confession, the divorce. "You're stronger than you think," Sarah said, her hand on his. The moment lingered, but she left with a hug. No pressure. Ryan lay awake, her words echoing. For the first time, he saw a life beyond Emma, one he might want. Friday, Ryan picked up the girls for their first weekend at his place. They decorated their rooms, Lily claiming a wall for posters, Ava arranging her stuffed animals. Emma dropped off their bags, her eyes tired but calm. "We'll make this work," she said. Ryan nodded, believing her for once. As the girls slept, he texted Sarah, inviting her and Ethan for pizza Sunday. Her reply, "We're in," made him smile. The fallout was messy, but Ryan was building something new, piece by piece. Ryan Mitchell's life had been upended by Emma's betrayal, but the divorce had brought a strange calm. Months after moving out, he was carving a new path in Seattle, anchored by his daughters, Lily and Ava, and a growing bond with Sarah. The wounds from Emma's affair with Mark still ached, but Ryan focused on rebuilding, not revenge. As he navigated co-parenting and a budding romance, the pieces of his life began to align, promising a future rooted in trust and hope. Saturday morning, Ryan woke to Lily and Ava bickering over cereal choices in his new apartment. He refereed with a grin, pouring coffee while they settled on a compromise. The place felt like home now, with Lily's soccer trophies on a shelf and Ava's drawings taped to the fridge. Ryan had custody every Wednesday and alternating weekends, a rhythm that kept the girls steady. Emma was cooperative, sticking to their schedule without drama. Their interactions were polite, functional, a far cry from the tense nights before the split. At work, Ryan's campaign launch was a hit, earning him a rare pat on the back from his boss. Sarah, now a close friend, celebrated with him over lunch. Her son, Ethan, tagged along, showing Ryan a comic he'd drawn. "You're next, Mr. Ryan," Ethan teased, pointing to a blank hero slot. Ryan laughed, ruffling his hair. Sarah's smile lingered, and Ryan felt a pull, something deeper than friendship. He invited them to a Sunday hike, and Sarah's quick "we're in" warmed him more than he expected. Sunday, the four hit a trail outside Seattle, Ethan racing ahead while Lily taught Ava to spot animal tracks. Sarah and Ryan trailed behind, talking easily, work, parenting, dreams. "I never thought I'd be here," Ryan admitted, glancing at the kids. "Starting over." Sarah nudged him. "You're not starting over. You're just continuing." Her words stuck, a reminder he wasn't defined by Emma's choices. At the trail's end, Ethan tripped, scraping his knee. Ryan bandaged it, earning a shy thanks from the boy. Sarah's grateful look said more than words. Monday, Ryan got a text from Emma. "Can we talk? After drop-off tomorrow?" Curious but wary, he agreed. Tuesday morning, after leaving the girls at school, they met at a nearby diner. Emma stirred her coffee, hesitant. "I've been thinking," she started. "I messed up, Ryan. Not just the affair, but giving up on us." Ryan tensed, sensing where this was going. She leaned forward. "I miss our family. I'd do anything to try again." Her voice cracked, raw with regret. Ryan studied her, seeing the woman he'd loved for years, but also the one who'd lied. "Emma, I appreciate you saying it," he said, steady. "But we're done. I've moved on." Her eyes widened. "Moved on? With who?" Ryan paused, then told the truth. "Sarah. It's new, but it's real. And it started after we were over." Emma's face fell, tears welling. "That fast?" she whispered. Ryan shook his head. It wasn't about speed. It was about trust. She nodded, swallowing hard, and left without another word. That evening, Ryan called Sarah, needing to clear the air. He told her about Emma's offer, his refusal, and his feelings for her. "I want this us," he said, "but I need to do it right." Sarah was quiet, then said, "I'm scared, but I want it too. Let's take it slow for the kids." Ryan agreed, relieved. They planned a pizza night with Ethan, Lily, and Ava, a small step toward blending their lives. Wednesday, Ryan picked up the girls and noticed Lily's quiet mood. Over ice cream, she admitted, "Mom's sad. She said she misses you." Ryan's heart sank, but he kept it light. "Mom and I love you guys, but we're better apart. You'll see her happy again, I promise." Lily nodded, hugging him tight. Ava, oblivious, smeared chocolate on her chin, making them laugh. Ryan vowed to shield them from the fallout, no matter what. By Friday, Sarah resigned from their team, taking a role at another firm to avoid workplace gossip. Ryan supported her, helping her prep for the transition. "Clean slate," she said, grinning. That weekend, she and Ethan joined Ryan's crew for a movie night at his place. The kids sprawled on the floor, giggling at a superhero flick, while Ryan and Sarah shared popcorn, their hands brushing. After the kids crashed, Sarah stayed late, talking about their pasts, her deadbeat ex, his shattered marriage. "We're survivors," she said, squeezing his hand. Ryan kissed her, soft and sure, a promise of what could be. Months passed, and Ryan's life settled. He and Sarah were official, taking it slow but steady. Ethan called Ryan Coach after he helped with soccer drills, a nickname that stuck. Lily and Ava adored Ethan, treating him like a big brother. Emma found her footing, dating someone new, a quiet guy Ryan met at a school event. "He's good to the girls," Emma said, and Ryan nodded, no resentment left. At Lily's spring soccer game, Ryan stood on the sidelines, cheering with Sarah and Ethan. Emma arrived, dropping off Ava, and the two women exchanged a nod, civil and warm. Ava ran to hug Sarah, calling her Miss Sarah with a grin. As Lily scored, the crowd roared, and Ryan looked around, his daughters, his partner, her son, even Emma, all part of this messy, beautiful life. The pain of betrayal was a scar, not a wound, and he'd built something stronger in its place. That night, Ryan tucked the girls in, reading Ava's favorite book. Lily lingered, asking, "Are you happy, Dad?" He smiled, ruffling her hair. "Yeah, kid, I am." And he meant it. The road had been brutal, but it led here to love, trust, and a family that fit, flaws and all.